Oh, hey everyone! It wasn't going live. It kept telling me I was just about to give up. Kept telling me it wasn't going to work. But today I am here, and I'm gonna do a quick demo, and we're gonna talk about the Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked, which came out first this season, and the Ambient Hourglass Lighting Edit Volume 4, which comes in the pink packaging this year. Quickly go through what the palettes that I have from the past, and I believe this was the first one because it is an edit, but I feel like there was one that I missed out on as well, and I know there was a blush one that I missed out on, but I had one of the blushes already, so I didn't feel like I needed that one. Maybe even two blush palettes that I've missed out on. So there may be 2 or 3 palettes that I don't have, but I believe this was the original lighting edit, and this contains dim light, in the middle incandescent light, and oh, you know what? It's gonna be, oh yeah. Hold on. Dim, incandescent, and radiant. And I think dim light is going to be this one. Incandescent is definitely this one. And this, for me, especially, I think you can tell, is more of a bronzer shade, and that's the radiant light. So obviously, I like this palette a lot. It's funny, I've had another one. This is a repurchase, and I actually have a backup already. But first time around, this center shade was the shade that I used most, and it hit pan. And this time around, it's the bronzer shade. And this one, which I can't believe it's not further down. I thought it would be more even, but I guess it's not. So this I'll use my regular bronzer, which is generally that It Cosmetics reddish tone bronzer. And then I'll use this one over it, the dim light in the center of my face. And then the incandescent is a great highlighter. It's just not super highlighty. It's more gentle. Now this doesn't say what number it is, but I feel like this might be 2. The Ambient Lighting Edit. Why can't I talk? Ambient Lighting Palette. So the first edit, I think I missed. Let's see. I have last year's. Yeah, volume 3. So I think I missed the first year. Anyway, this was the beautiful marble packaging. The first year, it's like, I think what it was, or whatever one I missed, somebody's gonna have to correct me, but whatever one I missed, it sold out before the 20% off Rouge sale, and that is why I missed it. So this is the marble version, which loved the packaging, and I was not going to miss this one. It has a face powder here, which I haven't had a big dip in. The peach blush, which I thought I was going to absolutely hate and do enjoy a lot. It has a pretty big dip in it. The bronzer is pretty good. I don't use it a lot, but it does have a big dip in it because there's less product in here. I don't use this highlighter. I don't like it. It's the strobe powder. And this blush is also very nice for more of a springy look. But it's definitely mixed with peach. And I've definitely enjoyed having this one in my collection. And then last year's version, they're all starting to look the same. Had these blushes, and they were called Surreal Halo and Pure Effect. And these are some of my definite favorite blushes ever. It also has diffused light, I think that is, the yellow powder, diffused, and dim, bronze light, which is a little bit darker than the other bronzer, but any of them work for me. I think that's the bronzer mixed with like, I don't know. So there's those two bronzers next to each other. You can tell there's a huge difference, but they both actually work for me. And then I'm going to actually show you, maybe, if I don't ruin this, the bronzer in this year. So the bronzer, this bronzer is definitely the lightest, and you'll see there, that works. And then there. Oops. So yeah, that's our choices. But they all work. I think they're all beautiful. I really do enjoy them all. This is last year's palette. And then I would like to bring out possibly my favorite, and I did buy a backup of this before it sold out too last year. This is great. Love this. But this is probably the only highlighter I ever need in my life. All three colors work for me and on my skin tone. I generally use the pinkish tone because I like that one the best, but they all work well. And these are the metallic strobe lighting palette. And I wish they would have come out with another palette this year, but they did not. What are you going to do? Now they did put a metallic strobe lighting powder in the unlocked palette, and that's this one right here. And if you look at them next to each other, they are definitely not a repeat of colors. That one's more of a champagne tone. But I'm not actually at this point positive that it is the same formula, but I think it's close enough that I like it a lot. I will be right back. I'm just going to run over here and get a my favorite highlighting brush. Actually, I guess I'm scooting myself. Alright, so we're going to do a demo. And I have done some lives or something with the unlocked palette already. And one thing I want to say about this is a lot of people have said it's for deeper skin tones. We can tell that I am very fair skin toned, and this works perfectly on me. These two colors, you know, they're not harsh. So either one will work on me. This one, sometimes I've blended them together. I've used this one, I've used this one. I've done it all. The bronzer works well for me. This is the bronzer. This is a peach blush, and let's see. I think we'll see that we have a little bit of sparkle in there. Can we tell that? We are definitely using natural lighting. And then the rose blush is really just, I love that color. Love it. I think it looks good on me. Now this palette. We have our yellow shade, which I use. I have a full size, and there's one in here. Never run out of that. And I use that to set under my eyes now. I used to use the L'Oreal, or the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, and I ran out of that after about a 3-year use for that little container. So I do use this color to set under my eyes. This is a strobe light, so the strobe highlighter. I don't really love that formula, but it does work, and it's just a little, it's kind of subtle, so it's fine. The bronzer works fine for me. We're gonna prove that now. Don't love this blush color. This is one of, I believe, the original blush colors that have come out. Love, love, love this one. And in fact, I think if you like this palette and you really just like this blush like I do, go buy yourself the Strobe Blush and Euphoric Fusion. I have a full size of this, and I have the other more fuchsia shade. I love them, and neither one of them are too much or anything like that. And we'll show you that today too. So for my palettes, I generally use this It Cosmetics Wand Ball Powder brush. Can't get that out. The little tip you know, it kind of just fits in there nicely. So I start out with my bronzer, and I just go kind of up here. Hopefully you're able to see where we're going with this. Kind of connect it right in here. And I'm going to look in the mirror here. So that just gives me a nice little glow. I think you can see a little bit. It's always hard for me to tell. I do, you know, kind of do the sun kiss thing. And then we're going to go back with, I think it's dim, right? Dim light. I'm going to put that in the center of my face. I already have the diffuse light under my eyes. And then I'm going to show you how to use a brush. If it's a little bit bigger, I love this brush for blush. Yep, said it right this time. And we're going to go into the Euphoric Fusion. So with this brush, you can kind of tell, I use this rounded part generally, and it'll fit just nice in there. Really, the whole brush does. It's definitely not too much, but it adds color. And you can, I'm sure, if you had deep skin, you could definitely build this up, because it builds up quick. On my eyes today, I think I'm using the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. It's like, I guess, the second version, and I went a little smoky with it. I love that. And then I love this brush from Real Techniques. I think it's the contour brush, but I love it for highlight. And you'd think that only this size brush can, you know, go in there. But, you know, look guys, I use big brushes. Just be careful. And this is going to be my highlight. So I like to bring the highlight right here. And then kind of back. I like to have that natural glow. And I think this is a good brush because you could just swipe it on like this if you want, or you could buff it in a little bit. And then I just lightly tapped it in. There's that piece of hair. Sometimes you think it looks good and then you finish it off and you've got something going on there. So yeah, I love to buff it in like this. And that's how it works. If I were to see this palette in store, I would pass by it after I looked at it a little more, because you know I have 3 of the colors. This isn't my favorite formula. I have enough other bronzers. They're not necessarily my favorite formula either. And that blush just, maybe it'll work in the summer a little bit, but it's just not my favorite. I did use it yesterday and it was fine. I just used it lightly. And it was fine. But peach blushes aren't my thing, but I can make them work, as I've shown you in some of the other palettes. So definitely, I think this is, even though by, a little something on there, this one looks a little more boring because it doesn't have the, you know, swirled baked effect in it, but they're gorgeous and they work beautiful. And I love, you know, the look that I came up with today, I love it. But I think I'm going to have a backup of this for myself as well. That metallic highlight, definitely. And, you know, people complain that there's not a lot of product in these. And maybe there's not. We're gonna, you know, agree on that. But they do last, you know, they last. They last a long time. This one is definitely 2 years old. So they last they're not going anywhere. I haven't really used this color, but if I were, I'd probably have it for at least a year straight. You know, so these are great palettes, and I would definitely consider getting them. And if you, this packaging. Okay, so we had the, you know, we showed you, I'm going to show you the colors together, but we had the marble, and then last year we had the rose gold, and then this year we have the gold and the pink. So really gorgeous palettes. As far as packaging, they obviously get dirty, but they're still gorgeous. It doesn't matter. They can be wiped down. So they've done a great job. I love the size of these palettes and the shape, and you know what they've done with those. And I think the first year was gold also, if I'm correct. But you know, they just work so well, and they have, you know, great mirrors in them. And the products are quality products in there. They have never been lesser quality because they have been put in a palette. That has never been the case. And I keep these. This is kind of my everyday makeup basket right here. I'll show you. And I just, this is like Dollar Tree or Target Dollar Spot, but I have a little basket in here that keeps some products, if you can see that. Okay. And then I just line these up back here, and these are, I grab for these every day. And it also has this It Cosmetics palette in here, that's the bronzer color that I use every day. I'm finally, after about 3 years, hitting pan on that one. But you know, I just keep them lined up in here, and I grab for them. I love that they have blushes in them. I love, you know, that I could just grab one of these, and even if it was this one, I could grab this and go on vacation and be super happy. I have my blushes, my bronzers, a highlight, a choice of blush, my under eye setting powder, my, you know, like a face. I don't use these as a setting powder, but I do use them as a finishing powder. And I did forget to mention, I believe, gosh, this hair, that I do use the It Cosmetics Bye Pores setting powder every day. And what I do is, it's a flat It Cosmetics brush, but it's about this size. And I just kind of go over forehead, nose, chin, jaw, and maybe a little bit of the side of the face, and kind of leave my cheeks just to these powders for setting. And one other thing I'd like to say is, if you like the Dior Nude Air formula, the luminizer, you will love those metallic ambient powder, the ones in the one kit, metallic strobe lighting powders. They are very similar in formula to these. So I always keep this here too, because I love them just as much as each other, but these are expensive. These are like $58, and I guess this was probably about $58, but you know, you get one color. As far as product, 0.21 ounce, .1 ounce. So you get more, but you get more colors. And of course, this isn't re-released or anything, but you do get that one color in this palette, and it is perfect. So if you like, I think, the one shade, the champagne shade, it would be very similar to that. So that is what I think. Those are my thoughts on the Hourglass Edit 4 and Unlocked Edit. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll put this video live so everyone can see it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Subscribe to my channel. I think my, like, pretty good growth period here. About 20 new subscribers in the last few months have subscribed, and I really appreciate that. You know, my last goal was 50 subscribers. My next goal will be 100. We're not there yet. But I would love if you would continue watching my videos and subscribing. And more importantly, because this is, you know, me being selfish, I love to talk to you in the comments. So please, you know, write me a comment, ask me a question, ask me what I think, ask me why the heck am I buying 2 of these, whatever, and I'll be happy to talk back with you. See you later. Thanks so much.